Hi guys, my name's Daniel and I've made this video to talk with you about a myth, a legend, that's become quite popular on the internet over the past 10 or so years, called the Black Knight satellite. Now, I've been interested in this legend for a few years now, and for those that don't know, it's basically an alien, a so-called alien satellite. And the story is, it begins in 1899 when famous inventor Nikola Tesla was said to have discovered strange signals coming from space. Ham radio operators in the 1920s had also apparently picked up these signals. In the 1950s, there were reports of unknown satellites orbiting Earth a few years before the 1957 launch of Sputnik by the Soviet Union. In 1960, Time magazine had an article which claimed that the US had found a mysterious and dark satellite in a near-polar orbit, which was something that neither the USA nor the Soviets had the technology to launch at the time, or so it was said. In the 1970s, author Duncan Lunan, a Scottish author, analysed the ham radio data and claimed that the signals showed a star chart with an invitation from the Epsilon Bootis star system, the constellation of Bootis, the herdsman. You see it in your star chart books. But what had happened after that, because the legend of the Black Knight, it became this object, this mysterious object became known as the Black Knight, supposedly named after the British rocket program, which had a series of rockets that were termed Black Knight rockets. I'm assuming probably maybe some kind of a reference to the Monty Python movie, the one with John Cleese and whatnot, what was it called? Holy Grail, I think it was called. And it had a character called the Black Knight and yada yada, I assume. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, these rockets were tested, and the Americans had apparently named this mysterious object the Black Knight. It was the Cold War, so, it was a time of suspicion, and, Russia was, spying on America, America was spying on Russia, and things were, so when people looked up at the sky and they were detecting these strange things, this was also the time of the UFO culture, the UFO phenomenon. So, it was perfectly natural, I suppose, for some people to, they might think, oh, there's alien satellites and this sort of thing. But anyway, nothing much happened after that 1960 period, apart from in the 70s when Duncan Lunan analysed that data, which it's been said that Duncan Lunan, when he analysed the data, it had nothing to do with an alien satellite, and that this was completely separate to the Black Knight legend. I don't quite know where this whether there's an article in which he talks about this. If there is, I don't know where it is. You can probably find it for yourself. I might try and see if I can find it. But anyway, after all of this, it wasn't until 1998, December 4th, I believe, when the Space Shuttle Endeavour was launched. And it was carrying the American component of the International Space Station, and they were setting up parts of the space station in orbit. And during the mission, apparently, the crew had captured photographs of this mysterious object orbiting in space, and I'll show it up for you here. Yeah, so this is the it's like the Loch Ness monster photograph surgeon's photo. It's like the Bigfoot, the famous Bigfoot image, the Patterson film. It's like the poster of the Black Knight legend. When people talk about the Black Knight, when they get into the Black Knight, this is the image that pops in their head. So it's become, the image that they associate. And, like all the other famous images of these sort of legends and sort of paranormal, alien, all these sorts of things, it's very captivating. It looks alien, it looks effective, it's sort of got that mysterious sort of edge to it, and if you didn't know what it was, you would definitely think, you would look at that photograph and you would think, wow, that's something strange, that doesn't even look human. It doesn't look of any kind of natural human design, and it even kind of looks a bit natural. It looks almost organic. It doesn't quite look like the sort of metal, technological kind of solid, rigid thing that we would construct. So, without the context, this would look quite convincing. But the problem is that during the mission, during the STS-88 mission, the crew lost a thermal blanket. The thermal blanket is a cover. It's sort of a cover, I believe. It goes on I'm not too familiar with it, a Trunian pin covering that basically is on. It was on a part of the capsule that they were working with, and it had come loose, and it began spinning in space. And when it was spinning in space, they took photographs. And that's the story. That's what the officials claim, And, you could straight up be forgiven for sort of going, all right, yeah, and, they're covering it up. They've just come up with this story, it's a weather balloon. We've heard it all before, yeah, whatever. But the thing is there is a video. There is actually a video of this covering, this blanket, this so-called thermal blanket being lost. And it's not a very long video, but it actually shows you. When I first saw this image, when I first saw the video, I was taken aback because straight away I recognised the object, the thermal blanket. I recognised, and this had nothing to do with the Black Knight, okay? Like, this is the point. This was completely separate. And I looked at the spinning object, and I went, oh my God, that's that thing, whatever it is in the Black Knight photograph, has to be, I would say, it has to be this lost blanket in the video. And I've actually done, what I'll do now, I'll put up an image. I'll put up the video, sorry. Show you the video of the blanket tumbling in space.
That would be the one that you're almost pointing at there with your right hand. See if I can do it.
Yeah, you probably should have. I'll tell you what, I'll track them around while you do it. There are these little things right up here. Let's see, I think you'll see a reach one. I can't tell now. Yeah, okay. There'll be like one right here and one right there.
And actually,
Yeah.
towards my right
Yeah. That's right there. That's it.
Well, he's doing this upside down in the water all the time. Makes everything feel backwards.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
What camera is it? Good motion.
Camera B. B is on, or D rather. D is on jury, I think.
We've been coming about another 6 inches to
mean that right now sun is
Let's see, Jerry, let's refresh
in
it.
the background.
Start anything real
Although we
cautious.
have hills in the background.
Okay.
Well,
Zoom back in.
Okay, there's not enough zoom on this
In
camera.
order to get it, you have to swing the arm 180 degrees. You're gonna have to there's no way.
There, you can't reach it.
Yeah, a little bit too far. Let's see what it does later. It actually,
Can you see it?
yeah, it goes forward. It means that it will go up.
Yeah.
So it could be close to them in some time.
When it comes back.
Yeah, it comes back and go up.
Yeah.
So it could be in the reach limit.
We see ourselves that you want us on step 5 essentially. And you're going to go to pull on the antenna back.
Okay, now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a little bit of a comparison I've done with the black night photograph and the the object that was lost in space, the thermal blanket thing. So I'll get it up for you now. And as you can see, you know, you can sort of look at this and you can probably sort of go, oh, you know, the object in the STS video is white. You know, it's not the exact same shape. It's got differences. It's X, Y, Z. It's wider, it's shorter, it's fatter, it's whatever. But you know, it just sort of strikes me, and you know that for it to look that similar, that damn similar to the so-called black night photograph, you know, I mean, you could stretch this and sort of go, oh, it's just a coincidence. The black night, you know, the black night just happens to look exactly the same. Or so I should say, sorry, that the famous photograph is the black night, you know. But for me, and I'm not sort of going on record and saying this, you know, it is definitely a thermal blanket. And, you know, it's not the black night and you're all wrong and I'm right and whatever. I'm not going to say that. But the evidence against it when it comes to this photograph, it's not very good because of this video. And there's actually there's certain shots, if you look up the STS-88 mission, you can see images of the thermal blanket trinium pin covering thing. That it has that. You see how when you look at the black night, you look at that sort of cutting at the bottom. You know, it looks like it's been cut with a pair of scissors. The sort of flaps, I should say. It has the same flaps, and it is white. Like the tumbling thing in the STS video. And, you know, there's the other thing that say, oh, you know, the black night or the object in the original photographs, the famous photographs, is black, and this video you've uploaded is white. This thing is white. Yeah, this, you know, I'm not terribly sure on this, how this actually works, so I'm not going to say, but I believe it's simply sun reflection or some kind of reflection going on. I mean, I have heard that the pin coverings, the underside was black. Even if it was a dark grey, even if it was a sort of a grey colour, I think in certain lights, because we don't know the conditions that the photos were taken. You know, we've got the video there, but we never saw the photos actually been taken. So it's possible that in certain reflection conditions, that's why the object in the original photographs looks black and the object in the video looks white. And, yeah, you know, I mean, it's something to think about. And the other thing I probably should mention, I will mention, the Duncan Lunan, the I believe. Did I already mention that? No. Yeah. Well, in the 70s, he analysed the ham radio data and they connected it to the Black Knight. But apparently, it had no connection to the Black Knight. Duncan Lunan has actually since retracted his claim. He said that analysing the data, it was done in unscientific methods, and he has retracted what he has said. Apparently. And also that the mysterious dark tumbling object in polar orbit, which was written up in Time magazine, supposedly has been in 1992. The United States had declassified a program known as Corona, a spy program where satellites were sent up in orbit to spy on parts of the Earth, and they were launched into polar orbit. So again, this is something where, the officials might say, we can't launch this in polar orbit, we can't do this, but behind the scenes we can, to keep it quiet during the, the sort of the Cold War period or an XYZ. But, there was actually a follow-up article which apparently said that the mysterious dark object, had been found to be a part of this Corona satellite, and it was the remains of a part of the Discoverer 5 rocket, which had launched these Corona satellites into orbit. So you're knocking down these sorts of things like dominoes. You knock down the famous STS photos, I should say. You knock down the Time magazine article. You knock down Duncan Lunan's report. And Tesla, Tesla did receive radio signals, but it has been suggested that these were in fact nothing more than pulsar phenomenon, which was not known back in the 1890s. And with all these things stacking up, it kind of looks pretty clear that the Black Knight is a little bit of a shoddy legend to be true. And this is a huge shame for me, because to me the Black Knight is such a brilliant legend. I love the story. I love the story of the Black Knight. It's captivating. The image is captivating. The famous image is captivating. The story is captivating. And it just speaks to that love of the unknown, of things that we don't know, and alien satellites and UFOs and whatnot. But, if you are searching for the truth, if you thought this thing was cool, which it is, and you wanted to know the truth, you're looking for something with substance of truth attached to it, it probably isn't going to be this particular story. But yeah, so that's it. If you like this video, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, thanks for watching.